protest at the National Realtors Building. Hey, Julian.
Hey, Steve. Realtors here in Chicago getting an earful from protesters. The contentious issue of rent control heating up, especially with two mayoral candidates vying for Chicago's progressive voters.
Apartment.
Forward with our bill in the House to lift the ban on rent control.
They're putting in high rises. They're putting in expensive apartments, condos, one bedrooms go for at least $1,000, maybe more. And I can't afford that.
Those supporting rent control for a brief while today blocking access inside 430 North Michigan Avenue, the building that houses both national and local realtors associations. The protesters who marched up Michigan Avenue arguing that the time has come for rent control, given Chicago's soaring costs when it comes to rental properties and housing. It's been decades since Illinois state legislators banned the practice of rent control. Opponents and many economists arguing that it can actually make the shortage of affordable housing even worse. But the issue clearly not going away, with mayoral candidates Toni Preckwinkle and her opponent Lori Lightfoot both claiming the mantle of the most progressive candidate. The push is on to try and bring rent control back. State legislators like Chicago's Will Guzzardi of Chicago's 39th District working to introduce legislation, and rent control advocates here in Chicago say that it is high time to take action.
I think it's become necessary because there's just, when they come into development, people just get kicked out.
That very day, they had received a notice from their landlord that their rent was going up from $850 to $975 a month for a studio walk-up without utilities.
Protesters sharing some of the horror stories, working families, the disabled and the elderly, those on fixed incomes especially having a terrible time coping with these high rents. Now, in the meantime, the Chicago Association of Realtors is weighing in a written statement. Realtors saying that they too want all communities to have affordable housing options. But imposing rent control won't meaningfully address availability and would actually make it harder to obtain affordable housing, the written statement says. The solution to addressing housing needs lies with creating incentives for more residential development. The realtors also pointing to costly zoning and construction regulations in Chicago, issues that they say need to be addressed. On Michigan Avenue, Julian Cruz, WGN News.